how many four-letter words can I use on that?
Trying to switch to a double. Cheddar is driving. Nothing yet. Takedown, Michael Cheddar.
Oh, Nick, I'm a top guy, so I love top wrestling.
Hale trying to sink him. He does. Maximus Hale the fall.
So I think that wrestling is the greatest sport on earth.
What's going on, everybody? It's Nick Kosko here with another edition of On3 Wrestling. A little solo today, but I could not go the entire week without talking about the biggest, I would say, buzz, news, call-out drama from the college wrestling world this week. AJ Ferrari, Carter Starocci. Everyone knows about the return of AJ Ferrari and Carter Starocci for that matter. But you look at Ferrari coming back, CSU Bakersfield, he committed a couple of weeks ago. It's always been rumored of, when's he going to come back? Is he going to come back? He had the whole thing with Iowa following his departure from Oklahoma State. Didn't work out. His younger brother obviously committed there, and it looks like he's going to be a 184-pounder, I believe, this year. So his younger brother already as a freshman is already massive and, maybe could make an impact on that lineup. And everyone knows about the Iowa turnover with the guys transferring out, the guys transferring in. But for AJ Ferrari, he's coming back at 197. Now, this guy is a former national champion, okay? 2021, true freshman, won it for Oklahoma State. He's going to be in the thick of things. It's just a matter of how does he look after 3 years not competing at this level. Now, he was in the Soldier Salute last year. So this is before I get into Starocci, of course. Soldier Salute last year, won it, disqualified after the little incident with Zach Glazier, who, by the way, did leave Iowa. He's now at South Dakota State. But Ferrari is going to be in the mix this year, and he called out Carter Starocci, or Carter Starocci called out him. I mean, frankly, these guys have had, I guess they've had, maybe it's manufactured beef, or they've had beef. Ferrari's made no ifs, ands, or buts about his goals this coming season in 24-25. It is to win a national title in Philadelphia, winning at 197, and quote-unquote reclaim his weight class that he owned as a true freshman and was probably on his way to owning in 2022 before he was injured in a car accident, and all of a sudden his Oklahoma State career was over. Now, regardless of your feelings on Ferrari based on past transgressions, how he's bounced around a little bit, drama seems to follow him around a little bit. That's just the nature of the beast right now. And I'm not here to pass judgment, nor am I here to, break down every intricacy of his career post his freshman campaign at Oklahoma State. That we are in the present time now. He's at CSU Bakersfield. If it works out, good for him, good for all parties. I hope it does work out for him because, I do, frankly, I believe in second chances, or however you want to phrase it. With the way his career has panned out over the last couple of years. And unfortunately, fans have only seen about a year plus of him on the mat. Again, the COVID-shortened season, and then 2022, where his season was cut short anyway. So getting to this beef now, he sets it up where he wants to reclaim his weight class. Carter Starocci wins his fourth NCAA title for Penn State last year. I love watching Starocci wrestle. He's one of those guys that you're going to get the fireworks every time. He's so methodical, but so aggressive at the same time. Very similar to his former teammate Aaron Brooks, who is out of college eligibility. Again, we love watching Aaron Brooks. Brooks, to me, was always so methodical, so technically sound, like Starocci. But it's like when you watch Brooks, it's almost like he's going to win, as evident, of course, aside from just one slip-up in the Olympics where he gets the bronze medal, but still gets a bronze medal in his first Olympic team. Starocci is almost like he's way more aggressive, and it's like, ooh, like some of those shots, like if he took a shot on me, by comparison to Brooks, it's like, ooh, I'm going to feel it from Starocci. Not that I'm not going to feel it from Aaron Brooks, of course. Starocci, I think it's just the finesse he wrestles with. Brooks is like in your face, and it's almost like, hey, man, I'm going to beat you, okay? And you're just going to have to accept it. Starocci's just like, go, 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 go. At least that's the way I've watched those guys over the last, 4 or 5 years at this point, wrestling back-to-back weights, sans this past year. But, of course, Starocci said he's going to go up to, there was a tease, he's going to go up to 197. He's going to jump up 2 weight classes. Now, it seems like there is anticipation that he is going to go up from 74 to at least 184. And, again, there's still the chatter about 197. And frankly, we probably won't know what weight class he's going to go until we see him step out on a mat or we see how his preseason is going with the Nittany Lions. And again, because he was granted that 5th year due to COVID, so he can come back for this 5th year and try to win a 5th NCAA title, which may never, ever be replicated again. So I can appreciate the chase for greatness, chase for history right here, because he's already in a rare class of 4-timers. He can be the only 5-timer in NCAA wrestling history. Now, that's a goal. If I were him, I would certainly come back, and I'm sure he's being compensated well when it comes to NIL money. Either it's through collectives or he's getting sponsorships. I mean, let's make no mistake about it. These athletes are deservedly compensated, and he has the ability to make quite a lot of money. And that's a whole separate conversation. But now the two of them have gone back and forth on social media. The big thing was Starocci's post right here, which was deleted, if I remember correctly, or was edited. I seemingly can't find anywhere, but everyone's reshared it, so now it's like buried on the Twitter timeline. But he does call out AJ Ferrari, and then he gave him terms as far as, let's do it at the All-Star Classic, and let's do it at 190 pounds, not 197. Of course, Ferrari did not like that necessarily. Of course, Ferrari was just like, well, you're not going to come all the way up. You're scared, and he called them out. And, I think Ferrari put out a video a couple days ago. It was a mashup of guys like Ben Askren, the Flow guys. It was Starocci's comments where he was like, I might go 97. Then he was asked about it. He goes, I'm not really sure. I don't know. And then it was a video of Ferrari, doing a workout inside the gym or something, doing some shadow wrestling. I want to see this match. So, that long little ramble to kind of get you up to speed if you've been living under a rock, if you're a college wrestling fan, this is a match I think everyone wants to see, because if you look at college wrestling as a whole, I've talked to many people on this very podcast about growing the sport, and it's a big team aspirations. If you have the team aspect of it, where you try to grow the dual meet, you grow the team championship. That's the best way to me, just because you're going to now put the school's brand on display, and a lot of people can get behind that, even if they're casual college wrestling fans. But you still need these individual matchups too. Now, you can go down the list over the last few years about rivalries and matchups that were just so good. And the most recent example, of course, is David Carr and Keegan O'Toole. Now, Carr is done with college. Keegan O'Toole is back from Missouri. But those guys wrestled 5 times, and they had an epic run of matches. And it concluded last year in last year's NCAA semifinals, where Carr got the upper hand in the final match, and he ended up winning his second NCAA title, beating Mitchell Messenbrink of Penn State. So that we need more like that. And I get Ferrari's been away for 3 years, but he's still been one of the most talked about wrestlers, even though he hasn't wrestled in 3 years, officially at least, on a college roster. Now that he's back, he immediately gives CSU Bakersfield a huge bump in publicity and buzz, and the fact that they brought him in, and I also believe they brought in Garrett Ninehouse as well, who wrestled at Purdue and Oklahoma, NCAA qualifier for those schools. So, you bring in 2 experienced guys. One's a national champion, one's a former qualifier. You already beefed up your lineup in terms of the upper weights, but he's the main attraction. He's going to be the main attraction. When people talk about CSU Bakersfield wrestling, they're going to talk about AJ Ferrari, what he brings to the table. Is he going to win a national title? Now, frankly, I don't know if Carter Starocci and AJ Ferrari are going to end up wrestling at the All-Star Classic. Obviously, AJ, he's not going to go down to 184. He's just too big. Starocci, again, it's a question. Will he go 84 this year and try to challenge Parker Keckeisen of Northern Iowa and take the national title from him come in March in 2025 in Philadelphia? Maybe he's go up 2 weight classes and just, essentially, quote unquote, defend the weight class for Penn State, since that's where Aaron Brooks won in 2024. Maybe he does. I don't know. But I think what wrestling fans want is just to see this match, because you've seen the beef play out online. AJ Ferrari, he calls out a lot of people, maybe not a lot of people, but he again, I said earlier, he makes no bones about it in terms of what he wants to accomplish, and that this is his weight class, despite being 3 years out of the game at this point. And when he comes back in Philadelphia, it'll have been 4 years since he won his national title, but only his 3rd actual season of wrestling. Because again, but again, he'll still have more eligibility, because that first year where he won the national title, free year. Okay, free. He's got 3 years of eligibility. He can wrestle 3 more years right now at CSU Bakersfield. So if that's the case, I'm all for this. And if it's going to be a Ferrari Starocci matchup in Philadelphia 197, I'm all for it. I want to see it at the All-Star Classic. find a way to modify the schedule and put CSU, Bakersfield, and Penn State on the same schedule. I believe they don't wrestle each other this year. And then, I just want to see this matchup. I think all college wrestling fans want to see it. So regardless of your feelings on either guy, because I know Carter Starocci's been a little bit more vocal on social media. He's very I can't. Yeah, you use the term cocky, but he backs it up. So you don't want to say cocky. You want to say confident. He's very brash and open when it comes to how he carries himself on social media. I like it. It's good for the sport. It's a lot of drama, and I think that's when the sport gets that. You think of it like fighting. You talk about boxing. You talk about the UFC, other MMA organizations. When these two guys have beef, naturally, you just want to see them duke it out in the octagon or in a ring. You want to see Ferrari and Starocci do this on a wrestling mat. I want to see it, and that's my biggest takeaway is, when they put stuff like that out on Twitter, Instagram, wherever on social media, is that stuff, if I were in their position, would personally do? Probably not, because I've never been a trash talker. I really never been a trash talker. I can talk trash when I'm not competing. I can talk trash when I'm talking about sports, okay? So I was never good enough in order to talk trash when I'm trying to out-wrestle you, outplay you in football, or even out-grapple you these days in jiu-jitsu. I'm a guy, I'm going to talk trash when I can get the leg up on you mentally when it comes to knowing stuff about these sports and, in my own profession. That's the way I can do it. On the mat, hey, let it all play out. You beat me, you beat me. If I beat you, I beat you. That's the way I would go about it. But because these guys are not afraid to do this in a public forum, it just makes it that much more enticing. So I think we need to see this match. And heck, if Starocci only goes up to 197 just to wrestle Ferrari, and he goes 84 the entire year, and then you make the All-Star Classic the lone match where they wrestle each other, it's got to be must-see TV anyway. So either way, All-Star Classic in the NCAA Finals or NCAA Tournament, it's must-see TV. I think that there has to be a way where these two guys can wrestle this year. If they don't wrestle this year, it's a big missed opportunity for everyone involved. Make it happen. I don't know. Carter, go up to 197 if you're only going 84. AJ, maybe agree to his terms, go down to 190. I don't care. All I know as a fan, when I take myself out of the broadcasting booth, I just need to see it. I just want to see these two guys scrap. These are the two most intriguing guys to me in college wrestling right now, with Starocci going for his 5th NCAA title and Ferrari's return, which is going to be talked about by everybody throughout the entire season. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure to like and subscribe to this video. Be sure to check out our content on on3.com as well. Another edition of On3 Wrestling in the books. We'll see you next time.